I needed to be my own boss in a way. And I think that when Roz and I met and we started working together kind of casually, we both were working from our apartments and meeting in Union Square, opening drawings over benches and garbage cans, it just kind of evolved slowly, and it just seemed like we could do this and we should do this. And so we didn't question it too much. We just went ahead and did it.
Judith Saltzman and Roz Li formed one of the earliest women-run architectural firms in the city. It had its challenges.
The very challenging part for me were the job sites, because the workers were mostly men, and they refused to talk to me. But then they soon learned that I have power over them because I would have to approve their request for payment.
Both women had long interests in preservation and history, a good fit for Landmark's Conservancy projects.
Very early on, we started working with the Conservancy's Historic Properties Fund. And we worked on projects in all 5 boroughs, primarily residential, all in historic districts. And it was pretty incredible and wonderful. A great experience, I have to say. And we worked with a lot of different contractors, different owners, always working with the Conservancy, everything going through the Landmarks Commission. And we also worked on some City Ventures Fund projects and sacred sites. So I feel like we grew up a little bit with the Conservancy.
The firm branched out quickly. One of their most interesting projects involved turning an abandoned tenement building into the Lower East Side Tenement Museum.
When you're dealing with a tenement, it's not like there are records and inventories and documents. So for the historic buildings, it's harder to come by, and most of what we saw was in ruins. So there was a difficult task of dealing with the concept of stabilizing ruins and also fairly telling the stories of the people who lived there.
Roz also found a challenge in adaptively reusing buildings.
The most challenging are usually the adaptive use projects, because not only do you have to fit a new use in an old building, but you have to make sure that the history and the meaning of the old building is reflected even as you have a new use.
The partners also worked as preservation consultants on major projects, like the restoration of the Brooklyn Bridge.
We worked with the entire team, conservators, the architects, the contractors, the designers, to develop details that we thought were really responsive to the bridge. And you know, I love this bridge. For me, it's a religious experience to be there and go there. Roz and I just walked across it the other day. And I have to say, we also had the opportunity to go to the New York City Department of Records and see the original drawings. So these are extraordinary experiences.
Their work has given them a first-hand look at how preservation benefits the city and why it's needed.
If the city were allowed to bulldoze its history and only continually build new buildings, it would be a very different city and far less, not a city I would want to live in.
Roz says preservation also allows you to see the different people who have helped shape the city.
The area of Weeksville, which was built by African Americans. You can see Chinatown.
Roz also has advice for young women considering architecture.
What I would say for young women thinking about going into architecture is go for it.
And we couldn't agree more.